Call or click and see how easy it is to schedule your windshield replacement today.
Good evening and welcome into the 10 p.m. edition of the Thursday, April 9th WHKY News. I'm Rob Eastwood. And topping our news at 10, a tragic story out of Caldwell County that came into our newsroom earlier this evening. A fatal fire is under investigation. The deceased was identified as 60-year-old Howard Thomas Jackson. The Caldwell County Sheriff's Office responded to the early Thursday morning residential fire on Spring Valley Place in the Dudley Shoals area of the county. Deputies arrived on the scene as Grace Chapel Fire Department, Little River Fire Department, and the Caldwell County Fire Marshal's Office members were actively working to extinguish the blaze. Officers responded to assist with the investigation. Firefighters soon discovered a resident in the basement of the home. The individual, identified as Howard Thomas Jackson, was later pronounced deceased at the scene by Caldwell County emergency personnel. The cause of the fire remains under investigation by the Caldwell County Fire Marshal's Office. Our condolences to the family of Mr. Jackson. A man has been charged in connection to an explosion at a home last week. 34-year-old Travis Kyle Bowes of Shook Road, Claremont, was arrested Wednesday by Catawba County Sheriff's officers. He's charged with possession of a weapon and manufacture a weapon of mass destruction in Catawba County. He's also charged with a highway violation in Alexander County. According to multiple published reports, the weapon charge is in connection to an incident April 1st. As we previously reported, on that date, an explosion left 2 people injured and a home destroyed on Shook Road in Catawba County. Bowes and his wife were injured in the incident. Their daughter and a grandmother escaped unharmed. Published reports say authorities were tipped off after Facebook posts were found in which Bowes showed himself setting off explosives and offering to make them. Following the arrest, Bowes was jailed in the Catawba County Detention Facility under $326,000 bond. A Wednesday district court date was scheduled in Catawba County. A man is charged with trying to set fire to a business. A customer detained the suspect for police. Deputies in Burke County say a man tried to set fire to a business in Valdez. It happened shortly before 8:30 last Thursday night on US 70 West. Officers say the man walked in carrying a gas can and poured gasoline on the floor. They say he demanded to use a phone and threatened to burn the building down. Police reports say people inside feared for their safety. One customer did step in and held the man until deputies arrived. No one was hurt and the scene was brought under control. Authorities identified the suspect as 52-year-old Bracy Allen Sullivan March of Morganton. He was taken into custody without further incident. March faces a felony charge, attempted burning of an occupied commercial structure. His bond was set at $30,000. He was not listed as an inmate in Burke County as of earlier today. A court date is April 27th. A Burke County man is facing federal charges after allegedly defrauding FEMA following Tropical Storm Helene. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Western District of North Carolina, 49-year-old Christian Michael Hall of Drexel was indicted by a federal grand jury in Asheville. Prosecutors say Hall falsely claimed a Valdez home was his primary residence when applying for disaster assistance after the storm in September of 2024. Investigators allege Hall did not own, rent, or live at the property, but still received more than $20,000 in FEMA benefits. Those funds were intended to help victims cover repairs, housing, and other storm-related expenses. Hall is charged with fraud tied to a major disaster declaration, a crime that carries a potential sentence of up to 30 years in prison if convicted. With a recap of this week's Hickory City Council meeting, here's Ariana Mack.
That's correct, Rob. Hickory City Council met Tuesday night in regular session. Council approved minutes, second readings, and the consent agenda, and also held a public hearing. The public hearing was about closing part of 13th Avenue Place Northwest, including an undeveloped section and a developed corner at 7th Street Northwest. That request was approved. On the consent agenda, Council approved closing both Hickory Public Library locations on Friday Friday, May 8th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. for staff training. Council also set a future public hearing that will look at annexing property on Springs Road Northeast. The property is approximately 1.1 acres and is owned by WHKY Property, LLC. They also approved a state grant in the amount of $500,000 for the Great Trail State program, and another major grant was accepted, $3 million from the North Carolina Department of Transportation for runway easement work at Hickory Regional Airport. Reporting for WHKY, I'm Ariana Mack.
Thanks, Ariana. In today's crime report, 3 suspects were arrested in a break-in case. Ariana Mack has details. Jason Savage has local sports with all of the latest local results from the Hickory Metro. In Community Focus, Ariana caught up with Rick Van Det, and they discussed tomorrow's Veterans Stand-Down event at CVCC. We are on over-the-air TV every weekday at 5:30 and 10 p.m. on channel 14.2 and live at 5:30 on the WHKY YouTube channel and 10 o'clock on the WHKY Facebook page. We're also in multiple cable systems, including Compass in Morganton. I'm Rob Eastwood, and this is the WHKY News.